Yes students, I am Monica Soral from Mammy International School, Nayagaon. Today we will be doing the 6th chapter of Geography, Elements of Weather and Climate, Part 2. Yes, measurement of pressure. The unit of measurement of air pressure is called millibars. Millibars is the unit of measurement of air pressure. Air pressure can be measured by using a mercury barometer and an aneroid barometer. ये जो है mercury barometer, aneroid barometer जो ये देखो ये आप पिक्चर में देख रहे हो, इससे we can measure the air pressure. Pressure belts. Unequal heating of earth and its atmosphere causes difference in pressures. In a warm area, air gets heated and expands. Its density decreases and it exerts less pressure. On the other hand, in a cold area, there is an increase in density of air. Density of air cold area में क्या हो जाती है, ज़्यादा हो जाती है. Thus, based on the temperature zones, there are alternating high pressure and low pressure belts on the surface of the earth. However, these pressure belts are not permanent and they shift slightly northwards in summer and southwards in winter. जो ये pressure belts हैं वो permanent नहीं होती, वो shift होती हैं. जब summer होता है तो वो northwards की तरफ चली जाती हैं और southwards जाती है जब वो winter में. They follow the changing positions of the sun's direct rays as they migrate between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Let's know about the major pressure belts on the earth. Now, equatorial low pressure belt. Now, what is equatorial low pressure belt? Equatorial low pressure belt extends between 5 degree north and 5 degree south of the equator. This area receives the maximum heat of the sun throughout the year. ये जो area है वहाँ पर maximum sun की heat जाती है and the पूरे साल वहाँ पर बहुत ज़्यादा गर्मी रहती है. Warm air rises vertically above the equatorial region and produces low pressure. Due to this, what happens? Excessive heat, surface winds are not found here. Hence this belt is also known as doldrums. इसीलिए इस बेल्ट को doldrums ही बोलते हैं क्योंकि यहाँ पर बहुत ज़्यादा excessive heat होती है. Surface wind are not found here. Surface wind वहाँ पर आपको नहीं मिलती. Subtropical high pressure belts. Subtropical high pressure belts extends from the tropics to above about 30 degree in both the hemispheres. In the northern hemisphere, it is called the north subtropical high pressure belt, and in the southern hemisphere it is called the south subtropical high pressure belt. These belts exist because the air that rises from the equatorial region is deflected towards the poles due to Earth's rotation. After becoming cold and heavy, the air moves downwards. जब वो cold और heavy हो जाती है तब वो नीचे की तरफ फ्लो होती है and in this region and creates high pressure. डाउनवर्ड जाते हैं उस रीजन में आते ही वो क्या करती है, हाई प्रेशर डेवलप करती है. These belts are also known as horse latitudes. इन belts को क्या बोलते हैं, horse latitude. Subpolar low pressure belts. Subpolar low pressure belts are located around 60 degree north and 60 degree south latitudes. They are known as the north subpolar low and south subpolar low pressure belts respectively. In this zone, cold winds coming from the polar region meet to the warm winds coming from the subtropical regions forming low pressure belt. यहाँ पर cold winds जो हैं वो warm winds को के साथ मिलके एक low pressure region फॉर्म करती हैं. Now polar high pressure belts में क्या है, in polar regions the temperature is low throughout the year. polar regions की तरफ जब अपन जाते हैं तो वहाँ पर temperature कैसा होता है, low होता है throughout the year and air is compressed. Thus the density of air is high. यहाँ पर density of air कैसी होती है, high होती है. Hence there are high pressure areas. In the northern hemisphere the belt is called the north polar high pressure belt and the southern areas it is called the south polar high pressure belt. See here they have given you in the picture. polar high है ये north pole है, यहाँ it is south pole. Subpolar low है ये subpolar low. यह subtropical high that is horse latitude and this is subtropical high that is horse latitude is over here. So this is the pressure and wind belts. This is the diagram for this. You have to just read it, go through this diagram carefully. Then comes the wind. Now, due to differences in atmospheric pressure, air moves horizontally from areas of high pressure to low pressure, giving rise to wind. In other words, wind is air in motion. Wind किसको बोलते हैं? Air in motion को बोलते हैं wind. Wind usually don't blow straight. They get deflected from their original path to the right in the north hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Measurement of speed of wind. Wind का भी measurement होता है. Wind कैसे measure होती है? The speed of wind is measured by an instrument called anemometer. सी दिस इज एनेमोमीटर, इससे विंड आपको मेजरमेंट होता है विंड का कि कितनी रफ्तार से विंड फ्लो हो रही है, हाउ फास्ट द विंड इज फ्लोइंग, ये मेजरमेंट विंड का बैरोमीटर ये करता है एनेमोमीटर. द इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज टू डिटरमिन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ विंड इज कॉल्ड विंड वेन. अब जो डायरेक्शन बताता है कि किस डायरेक्शन में विंड फ्लो हो रही है उसको जो मेजर करता है वो है विंड वेन. ये जो विंड वेन से अपन को पता चलता है कि विंड किस डायरेक्शन में, नॉर्थ डायरेक्शन में ब्लो हो रही है या फिर साउथ डायरेक्शन में. Types of wind. There are three main types of winds. They are planetary or permanent winds, periodic or seasonal winds, and local or variable winds. Now, planetary or permanent winds are what? Winds that blow from high pressure belts to low pressure belt constantly throughout the year is known as planetary winds. ये जो wind है high pressure belts की तरह से low pressure belts की तरफ flow होती हैं और ये हमेशा throughout the year ये flow होती है, इसलिए उनको planetary winds बोलते हैं. They are called prevailing or permanent winds. The three main types of planetary winds are, three types of winds we will learn planetary winds. One is the trade winds. They blow from subtropical high pressure belts to equatorial low pressure belt in both the hemisphere. They are very steady winds. The place where the northeast and the southeast trade winds coverage is known as the intertropical convergence zone. इसको ये बोलते हैं trade winds को. Now here comes the westerlies. Now what is westerlies? They blow from subtropical high pressure belt to subpolar high pressure belt. Subpolar की तरफ जो जाती है, see here, from here to here. This is westerly. Westerly winds in both the hemisphere, generally the west. Here westerlies are this. Polar winds, they blow from polar high pressure belts to subpolar low pressure belts in the east direction. This is the way the winds blow. In the diagram they have given you, you have to go through that. Periodic or seasonal winds. Now what are periodic or seasonal winds? Certain winds change their direction in different season or periodically, hence they are known as periodic or seasonal winds. Season के हिसाब से जो winds change होती है उनको periodic और seasonal विंड बोलते हैं. द मॉनसून विंड्स आर एग्जांपल ऑफ पीरियोडिक विंड. मॉनसून विंड्स जो होती हैं आपको को पता चलता है कि ना मॉनसून विल स्टार्ट, तो वो जो विंड्स होती हैं उसको पीरियोडिक विंड्स बोलते हैं. दे ब्लो इन अ पर्टिकुलर सीजन एंड चेंज देयर डायरेक्शन विद द सीजन. दे जनरली ब्रिंग रेनफॉल इन अ पर्टिकुलर एरिया. लैंड, सी ब्रीज आर ऑल्सो periodic winds. Local or variable winds. Local winds blow over small areas for a short span of time. They have different names in different areas. They change their speed and direction frequently. Chinook in North America, Fawn in Europe, and Harmattan in Africa are local winds. Local winds के ये वाले नाम हैं that we have to learn. Cyclones and anticyclones are variable winds that tend to change their direction. Cyclones are areas of low pressure surrounded by high pressure with strong winds blowing in a spiral motion around the center. They bring heavy rains. Cyclones you know always then that wind बहुत heavy जो winds जो blow होती हैं वो हमेशा rain लेके आते हैं, बारिश लेके आते हैं. Anticyclones are areas of high pressure. Anticyclones कहाँ होते हैं? High pressure areas में आपको anticyclones मिलेंगे. Surrounded by low pressure with mild winds blowing out in all directions from center in the spiral motion. They bring clear sky and pleasant weather. ये जो wind है वो आपको कैसा लाएंगे? Clear sky होता है और pleasant weather होता है इस टाइम पे एंटी साइक्लोन्स में. साइक्लोन में आपको रेन्स और बहुत स्टॉर्मी वेदर मिलेगा आपको देखने के लिए. See this is the cyclone and this is high pressure area, that is anti cyclone. Clear sky you found, or here you will find the cloudy sky. ह्यूमिडिटी मीन्स वॉट? जब अपन को जो पसीने आते हैं, जो चिपचिपापन जो अपन को लगता है जब अपन लोग बारिश और गर्मी का जो टाइम होता है, जो पीरियड होता है जब समर एंड होने वाली है और रेनी सीजन स्टार्ट होने वाला था, दैट इज कॉल्ड ह्यूमिडिटी. Humidity is the amount of water vapor present in the air. It is closely linked to the temperature variations, as most of the moisture in the air comes through the process of evaporation from water bodies. Thus, if the temperature is high, the rate of evaporation will also be high, resulting in the high humidity. Temperature जहाँ high होता है वहाँ पर evaporation high होता है. That is why air में क्या आ जाती है? Humidity. Similarly, low pressure temperature will mean low rate of evaporation and hence it will result in less humidity. Humidity is measured using a device called hygrometer. Humidity किससे measure होती है? एक device आता है उसका नाम होता है hygrometer. The total amount of water vapor present in a given volume of air at a given temperature is known as absolute humidity. Relative humidity is the actual amount of water vapor present in a given volume of air. So this also you have to learn. Actual humidity you have to learn about the definitions. At a given temperature, that is further expressed in the percentage of the maximum amount of water vapor which the same volume of air can hold at that temperature. At a given temperature, there is a limit to the amount of water vapor or moisture that air can absorb. After reaching that limit, the air cannot absorb moisture. एक limit होती है, उसके बाद air moisture को absorb नहीं करती. This air which contains the maximum amount of water, ये जो हवा होती है जिसमें maximum amount of water vapor होता है, that can hold at a certain temperature is called saturated air. इसको saturated air बोलते हैं. Condensation, the process in which water vapor in the air gets converted into liquid state is known as condensation. जो water vapor में air होती है वो जब convert हो जाती है liquid state में उसको condensation बोलते हैं. It is the reverse process of evaporation in which water is changed into water vapor. ये उल्टा process होता है. एक जगह पे जो water vapor में convert हो जाती है और यहाँ पर water किसमें convert हो जाती है liquid form में. Condensation occurs when warm moist air cools, converting the water vapor present to it minute water droplets. The temperature at which air gets saturated and condensation occurs is known as the dew point. जब dew गिरता है, जो dew drops we find in the morning, that is because of this. The different forms of condensation are clouds, dew, fog and frost. ये वाले जो है अपन ये forms of condensation है. Clouds, a cloud is a large collection of tiny condensed droplets of water or ice. बहुत सारा large amount of tiny condensed droplets हैं वो. These droplets are so small and light that they can be float in the air. Clouds are formed when water vapor in the air condense around the dust particles floating in the atmosphere. Dew. When warm moist air hits the cold surface, it reaches its dew point and condenses, so form water droplets. यहाँ पर क्या होता है जब वार्म मॉइस्ट एयर को हिट करती है कोल्ड सरफेस पे तो क्या हो जाता है वो फॉर्म कर पॉइंट एक ड्यू पॉइंट फॉर्म हो जाता है. इससे एयर कंडेंस हो जाती है और वो वाटर ड्रॉपलेट्स में कन्वर्ट हो जाती है. ऑन कोल्ड नाइट्स एयर टेम्परेचर रीचेज द ड्यू पॉइंट. कोल्ड नाइट्स जब होती है सर्दियाँ होती हैं उस रात को क्या हो जाता है एयर टेम्परेचर रीचेज टू द ड्यू पॉइंट naturally and leaves droplets of water which we see on grass, lawns, etc. These water droplets are called dew. और सुबह के टाइम जब अपन उठेंगे तो अपन देखते हैं कि ड्रॉपलेट्स वाटर के जो ड्रॉपलेट्स है अपन ग्रास पे लॉन पे सब जगह अपन देखेंगे दैट इज कॉल्ड ड्यू. एंड फॉग इज फॉर्म्ड व्हेन कंडेंसेशन टेक्स प्लेस क्लोज टू द ग्राउंड. फॉग क्या होता है जब कंडेंसेशन ग्राउंड के बिल्कुल पास में आके फॉर्म होता है ना उसको फॉग बोलते हैं. इट कैन बी थिन और थिक. थिन फॉग इज नोन एज मिस्ट. थिन फॉर्म जो फॉग होता है उसको क्या बोलते हैं मिस्ट बोलते हैं. एंड फॉग you have seen when the cold season is there you can see fog. Frost, when the temperature of a solid surface is below the dew point, the water vapor condensed to form ice crystals which covers the ground. This covering of ice crystal is known as frost. It is usually formed at night. ये वाला जो frost होता है वो ज़्यादातर आपको नाइट में देखने को मिलेगा जब आपके ice crystals फॉर्म हो जाते हैं इसमें. And precipitation is what? When condensation of water vapor takes place continuously condensation place करेगा water vapor का, minute droplets of water are formed. उससे क्या होता है जो छोटे छोटे droplets form हो जाते हैं water के. On joining together these droplets become bigger and heavier. उसके बाद ये जो जब मिलते हैं ये छोटे छोटे droplets तो क्या हो जाता है बड़े और भारी हो जाते हैं. When they become too heavy to float, और जब वो float होने में बहुत ज़्यादा भारी हो जाते हैं तो वो rain या फिर snow के फॉर्म में नीचे अर्थ पे गिरते हैं. They come down in the form of rain or snow. This process is called precipitation. So falling of rain and snow is called precipitation. Rain, drizzle, snow, sleet and hail are different types of precipitation. जो अपने जो ओले गिरते हैं वो रेन और जो ड्रिजलिंग होती है बूंदाबांदी जो अपन बोलते हैं वो ये सारी स्नो ये सारी क्या कहलाते हैं precipitation. When droplets of water fall in the surface of the earth it is called rain. Rain drops of very small size are called drizzle. Sometimes water vapor condense in the form of small ice crystals and combine to fall as snow. This happens when the temperature of air is too low. Sometimes water droplets freeze as they fall to form ice pellets. Precipitation of these ice pellets is called sleet. When big and irregular lumps of ice pellets fall on the surface of the earth, we call it hail, जिसको अपन बोलते हैं ओले. Rainfall is the most important type of precipitation and can occur in 3 different ways. That is conventional rainfall, relief rainfall and cyclonic rainfall. Conventional rainfall is the transfer of heat by the movement in gases or liquid in which the warmer part moves up and the colder part moves down. When air comes in contact with the hot surface of the earth, it gets heated and rises due to convection. At higher levels, water vapor in the air condenses to form clouds. On rising further, the cloud becomes overloaded. Cloud जो है वो overloaded हो जाते हैं और वो बारिश की तरह से नीचे अर्थ पे गिरते हैं. And with water it produces heavy rain and thunder and lightning. उससे क्या होता है, बादल गरजते हैं, lightning, बिजली चमकते हैं. This is called conventional rain. It is commonly experienced in equatorial region. ये वाली जो situation है ज़्यादातर आपको equatorial regions में मिलेगी. This is conventional rainfall. See how it is formed. They have given in the diagram. Relief rainfall, when a mountain or a hill comes in the way of moisture-laden winds, the winds are forced to move upwards. At a greater height, the wind condenses to form clouds which bring rain. This is called relief or orographic rain. The side of the mountain that faces the wind or the windward side gets heavy rain. The side of the mountain that does not face the wind or the leeward side gets lesser or no rain. ये माउंटेन और हिली एरिया में जब विंड ब्लॉक हो जाती है, मॉइस्चर लेडन विंड जो ब्लॉक हो जाती है, तब ये रेन फॉर्म होती है, उसको बोलते हैं रिलीफ और ओरोग्राफिक रेन. दिस इज गिवन इन दिस डायग्राम ओवर हियर. साइक्लोनिक रेन क्या होती है? समटाइम्स व्हेन वार्म एंड मॉइस्ट एयर राइजेस इट मीट्स अ मास ऑफ कोल्ड एयर इन अ प्लेन called front. The lighter warm air rises over the denser cold air. When this happens, a cyclonic storm occurs and the warm air condenses to bring down rain. This is called cyclonic or frontal rain. Warm or moist air जब rise होती है and then combined form a mass of cold air. ये जब combine होता है तब अपन को यहाँ पर ये plane called front, ये वाली चीज़ develop होती है, उससे cyclonic storm आता है. So उसको cyclonic या फिर frontal rain बोलते हैं. So this was the chapter about elements of weather and climate. Thank you.